The Manhattan Project was the research and development of nuclear weapons during World War II in the U.S. This government project was so classified, not even the Vice President knew about it. This film is for the purpose of explaining to U.S. citizens how the results of the Manhattan Project were used. A sub-operation of the Manhattan Project was Project Silverplate. This focused on the modification of bomb bay doors and B-29 bombers to fit the Little Boy and the Fat Man nuclear weapons. Here's a clip of approval of Operation Silverplate.
Mr. President, Mr. Groves. So what I have here is the final drafted copy of Project Silverplate. I'd like you to read it over and tell me your thoughts.
Thank you very much. Well, this project looks very appealing to me, but my overwhelming question is, where will this lead in the future?
Well, as stated in page 1, article 4, Project Silverplate is the merging of the two bomb bay doors on the Boeing B-29 bomber. We are doing this to fit the unpredicted and massive load capacity of these two nuclear warheads. The project will take about 2 to 4 weeks to accomplish, and once done, we will have one bomb bay door capable of fitting in these two nuclear warheads. And once that's accomplished, we can move forward in the Manhattan Project.
The B-29 bomber, the Enola Gay, piloted by Colonel Paul W. Tibbets, took off from Tinian, the Mariana Islands, on August 6th. Its primary target was Hiroshima. At 8:15 a.m., the Little Boy atomic bomb dropped over Hiroshima at a height of 32,000 feet and detonated at 1,500 feet. The B-29 bomber, the Boxcar, piloted by Major Charles W. Sweeney, took off from Tinian on August 9th. Its primary target was the Japanese city of Kyokura, but due to bad weather, the Boxcar proceeded to the secondary target, Nagasaki. At 10:58 a.m., the Fat Man atomic bomb was dropped over Nagasaki at 35,000 feet and was detonated at 1,600 feet.
Hello, pilot. This is Bomber Pilot Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, heading to Hiroshima now.
Hello, Bomber Pilot. This is Escort Pilot Delta 3. I'm with you. Over.
Okay, Escort. Dropping the bombs over Hiroshima now. Over. This is Bomber Pilot Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Bombs are heading to Kyoto now. Over.
That's a negative, Bomber Pilot Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Kyoto is covered by clouds. Head to Nagasaki now. Over.
Hear you loud and clear, Escort. Heading to Nagasaki now. Over.
In Hiroshima, the bomb detonated at 1,750 feet, with a blast equivalent to 13 kilotons of TNT. This bomb was nicknamed the Little Boy. It killed 70 to 80,000 people, 20,000 soldiers, 20,000 slaves, and 35,000 Hiroshima citizens, in a rough estimate. Another 70,000 were injured.
State your name and age.
My name is Jim Eccles, and I am 31.
What is your occupation?
I am a nuclear mechanic.
How were you introduced to this project?
One day, out of the blue, the FBI called me up. They wanted to do a background check on me, and they wanted to confirm that I was a nuclear mechanic. I confirmed that I was, and they hung up abruptly and ominously. 3 months later, they called me saying that they had a job for me.
How much did you know about this project?
Very little. I was on a need-to-know basis. If there was something I needed to be aware of for the certain part of the project I was working on, then they would let me know, but besides that, I didn't know very much.
How long did you work in a day?
It varied depending on the day. Some days were 3 hours long, others were 22.
How were you treated?
I was treated fairly well. I was able to go home at night, and I was able to eat. The only difference between my job there and a regular job was that there was a lot of security. Lieutenant Leslie Groves was the United States Army General of the Engineering Corporation. He was the director of the Manhattan Project and answered only to the President. Another person important to the Manhattan Project was J. Robert Oppenheimer. He was a theoretical physicist who played a key role in the development of the nuclear weapons. Mr. Harry S. Truman. He learned of the project in 1945 after President Roosevelt's death. He was the technical head of the project who approved of the making and use of the bomb. Mr. President,
Mr. Oppenheimer?
Mr. Groves,
Mr. Oppenheimer?
I have here the reports on the bombings at Nagasaki from yesterday and Hiroshima from a few days ago.
I see. Okay. Well, these results are interesting, but I'd like you to narrate in your own words what formally happened.
Of course, Mr. Groves. The Enola Gay, which was the bomber plane that went over Hiroshima, dropped the little boy, and 70 to 80,000 people died, including 20,000 soldiers, 20,000 slaves, 35,000 Hiroshima citizens, and another 70,000 injured.
I see.
Over Nagasaki, the Fat Man dropped, and that was another devastating piece. It killed 28,000 Japanese workers and 150 Japanese soldiers, with 40,000 citizens killed and 60,000 injured.
I see. Well, as grave as the situation is, I think it was nonetheless essential to the surrender of the Japanese, and we just hope that that call will come soon, in the next couple hours, hopefully at best.
It was unfortunate that we had to bomb Nagasaki instead of Kyoto, as it was unplanned, but it was still a control group
I agree.
for
Yes.
the experiment.
Yes.
I agree. Well, I think we will we'll meet another time when times
Yes.
are better, but until then, gentlemen,
Good to see you.
Mr. Oppenheimer.
Good to see you.
Mr. Oppenheimer?